Hey everyone, happy Friday.
Hey guys.
Hello. How's everyone?
Good, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Aces.
Awesome.
So we missed last week because we were in Washington, D.C.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, Bob J and I had a book thingy. We gave a 1 hour talk for the Edison electrical thing, or what was the name of the company, Jay? Remember?
I have the guy's card
There's
here
a global
somewhere.
energy conference, which is being hosted by the Edison electrical something. It was fun. It was pretty good.
No, you were right, Steve. It's the Edison electrical thing. That's the exact name.
Neat.
Yeah.
Global Electrification Forum?
Yes, the Global Electrification Forum. We're just giving you a talk about our book, The Skeptic's Guide to the Future. So it was a lot of fun.
Good.
And then we went to the Air and Space Museum.
Ooh.
We almost missed it because, I've probably at this point been to the Air and Space Museum over 20 times in my lifetime. Or more, maybe 30. Because I lived there for 6 years, and every time somebody came down, we took them to the Air and Space Museum. Plus the other ones.
Who doesn't like
well.
that, right?
I know,
that's
it's
something
awesome.
everybody can enjoy.
But for the first time, they required tickets to get in. Now it's still free, but you gotta buy tickets so that you're slotted into a specific time.
So they can control the size and
so they can control the traffic. So we get there and we sort of knew this. So all right, well we'll go there first thing and get our tickets for the day, right?
Yeah.
So we get there. Jay, your camera's out of focus. Is that just me, or is Jay's camera out of
I thought that was just my eyes.
Jay's out of focus.
I take my. Hey, what happened?
There you go.
All right, there we go. So we get there. They're sold out for the day.
That's
Totally sold out.
So you had to go see scalpers, right? Or buy it on StubHub.
Are no scalpers.
Or break.
The tickets are free. It's just you're reserving a time slot.
Yeah, but it wasn't. They
Right.
said you could check back at 12:30 to see if there's more tickets available in the afternoon.
Well, they drop tickets at 12:30. But you got to get them, snatch them up really quick. So we're at lunch at the Natural History Museum. We all have our phones out. As soon as 30 hit, we refreshed until somebody got in. So we did manage to get tickets for the day, which was good. So we had to at 1:00 actually. So we had to run over right at that point, and then we get there and
Mhm.
half the museum is closed for renovation.
What?
Yeah.
And it was the good half.
The good
It was-
half, yeah.
It was the space half of the Air and Space Museum was closed. What they did was
They couldn't.
they one room was all the space stuff. Like they kind of made a display of all the like the moon landing stuff and everything.
It's nice.
What they could it was nice. There was no like lunar land or any of the
No.
big stuff. There were no rockets. It
No
was
lunar
just
land.
there was the capsules, the Apollo capsules and Mercury capsules.
It was
space-
good for the kids, but
It was better than nothing.
yeah, it was all right.
And then they had all of the airplane stuff, but like fully half the museum is closed for renovation. So, we were down, then we were up, then we were down. It was still fine, but it better. So now I got to find out when it's going to open again.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
wonder what they're changing.
Well, it's got to be all that.
I know
All
that
the
Rio
air and
it
space
says-
that they're changing.
It says
The
closed.
Apollo stuff and probably all the new, the rockets, any of the rocket stuff.
Yep, some of the debris from Elon's stuff that blew up earlier this week, and
Yeah, right.
Concrete. They're going to bring some of the concrete from
Yep.
the
The failed SpaceX launch. Yeah.
But I got a question.
Go ahead,
What-
Bob.
Most importantly, all right. So of course, one of the first things we looked at when we got there was the Enterprise from the original series,
Mhm.
yeah,
refurbished Enterprise. That's like what is that like 14 feet long? I mean, it's just a huge model of the original Enterprise, and we always go there and check it out and take some pictures because it's beautiful. It's a goddamn Enterprise, 1701. But I saw again something that I saw last time I was there and then forgot about it. What the hell is this doohickey in the phaser emitter?
That thing that's like sticking out of the
Yeah, that red little dildo thing that's sticking out.
That's
What
the laser. That's the phaser.
is that? That's what's actually emitting the phaser beam? I never
the question is
read
wasn't in
about
the
it,
original specs.
saw
How
about
can-
it, any
how
pictures.
can multiple people who grew up watching this TV show and have completely absorbed Star Trek the original
Right.
series not seen that thing on the TV show?
Maybe it was just too low
Resolution.
res, too low res to see
Yeah.
it. Or was it
Yeah.
some-
Is
The
120.
angle probably absorbed it.
Does anybody know what it is? Has anybody seen this or read about it? I haven't done a deep dive.
I can't find anything on it.
But
Is it just a kickstand?
I mean, look at that! Look at that thing.
Looks like a
Yeah.
match. Someone kind of.
Why they pick a match head or
Yeah, strike the match.
or a dog that's really excited?
And this is where this is at the disc at the lower side of the disc head of the Enterprise.
Under the primary hull.
So I remember this. There was an interview with Patrick Stewart in which he was talking about the Enterprise, and I don't know how the subject came up, but like what's something that the Enterprise does or has that never was shown on the show. And they said there was something called the Captain's Yacht, which was basically situated, and he described it at that position of the bottom of the disc, but it never came out in an episode, never used it, never anything, but it's there. So, but that was the next gen
That's
Enterprise. So, is it possible the original one also had something like a Captain's Yacht that never got referenced or utilized or came out in any of those original episodes? Possible. That's the only reason to bring it up is because that's the position he described where the yacht was. And he described it as basically a nipple below the main disc.
I'm looking at a picture, a high res picture of the original Starship from the series. Well, actually, this is the model. I guess it's the same model. It's there. I mean, you can see it, but you know what? The glare from the glowing orb kind of washes it out. That's probably why we never noticed it.
Yeah. So it's so weird to never have seen that and noticed it, or heard about it discussed. How much Trek stuff have we read? I mean, volume. I mean, so much, and no one's ever really talked about it that I've come across
until today.
It's probably out there.
I just thought that the laser can come out and go in any direction they wanted from that emitter.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Hmm.
hemisphere, and that would make sense. You could go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, a
basically,
lot of times you would see two beams coming out. I guess could this
Yeah.
emit two beams? Doesn't it looks like a one beam emitter to me, but whatever.
Yeah, if I'm looking at a good picture that's like from the television series itself, you cannot see it. You
Yeah.
absolutely cannot see it.
Which
I'm wondering-
means it's probably not there. Maybe that was the original idea.
Or it just gets washed out.
Yeah, it seems wasted if we never even noticed
or
it.
something, or as they were manipulating the model for the shots and stuff, you tie one of the strings to that position on it in order to get it to turn or something. Maybe it's used for
Oh, they never
those
turned.
purposes.
They were stationary. Those big models, they were stationary, and the camera moved. And even if they wanted to show the other side of the ship, they just reversed the image because only one side of the Enterprise model was actually filmable.
Hmm.
There was no windows on the far side, and there was some support mechanisms that you could see. It's only one side.
Yeah,
So
that's why it crashed and burned.
Air and space renovations will be complete in 2025.
All right.
We'll be old by then.
It started in 2018. It said it was a 7-year renovation project.
Jeez.
We were there in.
So based-
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they shut down all of that. I mean, I think
No.
they've been doing space by space, keeping the museum open, but now they got the rocket area closed. So that's why.
Basically, when we have people on the goddamn moon, that's when they're opening it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I suspect they're going to be adding some SLS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Orion capsule. I mean, I bet you're going to show all the new shit, right? What you can't open up after 7 years of renovating
and not have a whole new
and not have all the
display.
new stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a Saturn V rocket in that museum.
A full Saturn V rocket.
I think
you
they'd
ever
have to
seen
expand
that,
the
Jay?
museum, wouldn't they? To fit.
Where
that.
did you
Yeah.
see it?
I was with you. Where did we see it? At the
No, you were. I was never with you when I saw it. I saw it once, but I was not with either of you guys. I was just with my family.
Bob,
we
did
were
I see
at-
it with you?
See what?
Jay, have you ever been to NASA in Florida where
Florida,
they launched?
I thought
Yes.
that's where it was.
Yeah, that's where you saw it. But we weren't there together.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, it's mind blowing when you see the whole thing, together all in one piece. It's huge. It was in a hangar. It wasn't. Can't put it in. It wouldn't fit in air and space. That's why they have just the bottom of the rocket, and they use mirrors to make it complete, like the whole thing. You know what I mean? So you could see like the 5 engines, but it's really only like 1 engine and then half of 2 engines, so that with the mirrors it looks like there's 5 engines.
An illusion. Oh, that's all part of
Yeah.
the moon
What is
hoax
the
thing. Got it.
illusion?
All right, so I'm going to go through my
There it is. Yep. I've got a couple of those too.
technical manuals and see what, because I think people are saying that they're looking at it, they're not seeing it.
Yeah.
Man, when's the last time you saw this book, Steve J?
Star Trek
Yeah. I
Convention,
have that book.
1984 or something, right? Yeah, gee whiz.
Wow.
That is old school.
UFP.
I have those buried somewhere. I forget where I.
We used to
did with
pour
mine.
over those when we were kids.
I read that whole book cover to cover.
They were
at
cool.
least once.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Nerd, geek cool.
I have
Just the fact that somebody spent all that time and effort
Right.
that together is very cool.
What a goddamn outlet fantasy is, like it's a healthy if you don't take it too far, of course, but it's a healthy thing to like get away from reality,
Yeah.
I love it.
I agree. Yep.
So Japan's moonlander, Av, you were saying.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not prepared for the finer details, but I heard earlier this week that Japan sent a what was going to be a rover to the moon, and it got there, and I'm not exactly sure how it descended, but it descended to the surface, and then I think what happened was it was like a couple meters off the ground, or 10 meters off the ground, or something from the lunar surface when it was making its final land, and they lost contact with it at that point, believing it had obviously failed and crashed.
Yeah.
Is that what you read as well?
Yeah, I didn't really hear like a reason why it crashed.
They got close to
I don't think
landing it, but it didn't
No.
make it. Yeah, here you go. Japan's iSpace says Moonlander probably crashed on the surface. I guess they have yet to confirm it. It's called the Hokuto R Mission 1, the M1 lander. It unexpectedly accelerated and probably crashed to the lunar surface. Went into free fall towards the surface as it was running out of fuel to fire up its thrusters. And yeah, so, you know, I'm just, you know, well, it's up, you know, it's unfortunate that it's, in a way, it's kind of part of the world of space exploration. These things do happen. They have happened. They'll continue to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
it's a little frustrating though when it's you know, it's not like it, you know, missed the orbit or something and hurling into space. And that's one thing. It's like it was a matter of feet from its destination and couldn't pin the landing, couldn't strike.
Well, it's
the
a
landing.
big
That's
exclamation point.
frustrating.
It shows you how hard it is. I mean, and to think NASA is going to put people on the moon in a couple of years, and Japan couldn't even land a rover. You know, we're talking about incredibly complicated engineering and mathematics that it takes to do this stuff.
Well, think about it though. To go into
Here's what it looked like, I think.
Well, it's there. It landed. Look, they got a picture of it down.
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh,
Look at how flat the Earth looks.
Yeah. But guys, don't forget the margin for error when you're putting something in the orbit around the moon like that is huge. You got a decent margin for error. If you're landing, think about your margin of error is tiny because, you know, if you hit it going, you know, 10 meters per second, I mean, you're in trouble. You need to be going with the range of velocity to hit that ground is not great. So it's
you're right.
very difficult to land it.
and you can't be off kilter either. I mean, you have to, however it's designed, you have to strike it as it's designed. If you're,
I still think
tilted, you're gonna have
it's
a problem.
Freaking miracle that when they landed the first moon lander with what 7 seconds of fuel left, guys.
Yeah,
11, I think.
With a pen stuck in the switch because the switch broke or something, right?
It was closer to 16 seconds because they had a reserve. It wasn't super tight.
Okay, so it's only 16 seconds. We're talking about 16 seconds of fuel left.
Yeah, but I've heard people are saying like it had 4 seconds. Like, no, it's not 4 seconds. It was closer to 16 with the.
Okay,
It was super close. People still exaggerate it, but yeah, it was super close.
16 is still like, holy Christ, you know, like those guys could have easily not gotten off that moon.
Yeah.
Well, you had like 4 seconds to hit the abort because there's a little bit of they could have aborted and then they could have just launched. They could have launched in the ascent module, right? Because that's a completely separate system that they had. The lander component, that's what would had only 16 seconds left. But when it got to like 5 seconds or 6 seconds, I think that's when NASA would have had to hit the button and they would have aborted and they would have just gone right back into orbit to mate back with the orbiter. But you got to hit that button. There's a delay. You can't hit that abort button at 3 or 2 seconds left because
too late. Yeah, you're committed.
eBay auction bid. You know, when you're down in the last few seconds, you got to put your bid in at like 3. You need 4 seconds before it's too late.
eBay. When was the last time I bought something on eBay? Oh my gosh.
I buy stuff on eBay.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Star Wars stuff, you know.
Oh, you don't have to tell me.
So, I got a couple of things I want to say. So, I was talking to Skeptabrarian, who is one of the mods on the SGU Discord.
She's awesome.
And Sharon said, give the Discord a shout out as a place to talk about plans and look for rooms and ride shares for Nauticon.
Oh, Nauticon.
And she is completely correct. Thank you for reminding me, Sharon. So if you're going to go to Nauticon, one of the best places for you to go to basically, this is all in an attempt to save money, right? Share a room with someone. You'll save a ton of money. Share a ride from the airport with someone. you could save a ton of money. So this is where you could tell people, hey, I'm landing at LaGuardia at this time. Anybody want to grab an Uber with me, that type of thing? Definitely do that on the SGU Discord. I don't know if there's any other place you could do it. Maybe the SGU Reddit, but I don't see a lot of people on there talking about ride sharing and all that. The best place to do it. This is all if you're a patron, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just another reason why being an SGU patron can save your life.
That's right.
Do you guys remember when two people who met each other through the SGU got married?
Yeah.
If you want to register for Nauticon, look, there's a handy dandy little QR code in the top left
Wait,
that you can scan.
Bob, how'd you do that?
Oh, cool.
Bob did that. Totally.
You should have made it look like it was Bob's t-shirt.
Yeah, just
Next time.
move it.
We'll do that.
Yeah, guys, please do come to the conference. We are super excited about it. We've got George Hrobb, Brian Wecht, Andrea Jones-Roy, and then, of course, the entire SGU will be there. And we have a huge list of ideas on what we could do for entertainment. And anyway, we could put this. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this idea. Would you guys like to see a whole bunch of ideas that we have, and you get to pick which ones that we do?
Ooh, someone scanned that QR code.
Would that be interesting?
Yes.
I think
I'm gonna say yes
that could be
for,
fun.
for everybody in the chat.
You're just saying yes, Ian?
But you have to become a patron to vote. It'll be in the Discord. How about that?
Yeah, we can put the vote in the Discord. Yeah, patrons are going to get to vote.
Somebody scanned the QR code, so that's pretty cool. You can
I think we already have more ideas than we have probably time over the course of the 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, always.
We do.
So helping us narrow it down and, hey, giving the patrons what they want.
Someone else scanned the QR
We'll
code.
do it.
Yeah, it's going to be action-packed. There's going to be a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And there may be some surprises. I may do things that nobody else realizes are going to happen. I'll just spring it on everyone.
Yeah, like Evan might come in and actually do taxes live in front of the crowd, in front of a live studio audience.
I could so do that. I can
For all the people that miss October 15th or whatever. So.
I could if you have trouble sleeping, show up to my talk about how your tax form works, and that will cure your sleep problems in an instant. So
no, but one of the coolest things that was pitched was teaching the audience like circus skills.
Oh yeah,
mad circus skills.
I want to do that. I want to hear more about that.
Well, I mean, we've eaten fire. Brian Brushwood taught us to eat fire. That's about as far as I think we've gone with our circus skills, right?
Yeah.
But what, the trapeze or the juggling or we got to make sure no one can get injured, but it'll be kind of the safe stuff.
Yep.
Like lion taming and sword swallowing and all that. Steve,
classic stuff.
Steve, you can bring your sword.
Yeah, I'll bring my katana.
I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to scan this QR code. I'll put up the room QR code. This is to book the room with the Nauticon rate, which I'll put up in just a second. So there's the registration, and then there's also the room. Uh-oh, what did Bob get? Uh-oh.
What's that?
This thing?
That
I think I got this at Dragon Con years ago, and it's kind of cool, right? Little techno rod.
Is it a flute?
Is it an instrument? Yeah.
No.
Multi lightsaber.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you could kill someone in a sci-fi themed implement.
Yeah. I don't even know if this is from anything. Oh, the other cool thing is that apparently I remembered you could take it and then you can screw it together and then have your double-bladed kind of staff thing like what's it
instant zombie.
I would cut myself in 10 seconds with that damn thing.
This is all, I mean, this is not strong at all. I wouldn't even use this against zombies. It would break.
Oh.
It's funny. Here's a massive coincidence that is nothing but a coincidence. You're just talking about Brian Brushwood. You're talking about the fact that we ate fire. Brian Brushwood taught us how to eat fire.
Yes, he
So I'm
did.
thinking, oh yeah, Brian Brushwood. I wonder what he's up to. I mean, literally just got an email from Brian Brushwood.
Oh, come on. Did we really?
No,
Yeah.
that was me emailing Brian.
I know,
back.
but whatever. I
but
just got
where is it?
I got an email. It was from Brian Brushwood. You were forwarding it or replying to it.
Yeah, he reached out. He wanted to he was doing something new. He wanted to promote, and he wanted to get in the show. And we never really connected.
Told him to F off.
We already learned everything we're going to learn from you, Brian. We're good. We know how to eat fire.
Yeah, he
No,
may be appearing on a
Brian's
future show.
great. Brian's so much fun.
He's a great guy. Yeah,
And it has been too long. We
I
should.
haven't seen him in years, man.
I
Yeah,
know.
maybe I'll find out if he's going to be at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be at Nauticon. And now is your time to book a room.
Right.
Oh yeah, I gotta tell you guys
Book it,
about
Dano.
this. So if you're going to Nauticon, if you've already got a room at the hotel, we got a discount code link, right? So if you click the link,
that QR code.
yeah, it's in the QR code. It's also
Bob.
if you go to the Eventbrite, I put the link in there. If you use that link, you'll get your room for a cheaper rate. So you might want to cancel your initial reservation if it's below 175 a night, or if it's above 175 a night.
Yeah. And make sure you book soon because they're not going to hold on to the inventory forever.
Yeah, that's true.
And what they're holding 100 rooms, right? Is it 100?
They're holding 100, and then I said, I'm negotiating constantly with the hotel because there's like a million. When you do a conference, there's like so many different things that are going on. So I said to them, what if we sell out on the first 100 rooms? Can I get the discount for more rooms? And she basically said, yes, it's possible. We'll talk about it when it happens, blah, blah, blah. So
Right. Basically saying, show me 100 and then I'll talk to you.
Yeah, then we'll see what happens.
So let's prove them wrong. Let's get that 100. Do it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I love the Nauticon concept.
Yeah,
Nauticon,
I mean,
not concept.
It's about having fun. It's about socializing, which is I think it's what we all need.
Definitely leisure activities abound for 2 full days and nights. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'll be there Thursday though. So people, if anybody's showing up on Thursday, I'll be there. Ian will be there.
Yep.
You got that, Ian?
Oh yeah. There
got
all
that
day, all night.
Little cue. Yeah.
All right, Bob, we get the point.
Get the point.
His name is Claudia Katniss Geller.
The 5th.
Are we supposed to be
Claudius
impressed
at
with that name?
Clawdius. Claudius.
It's very. Liz came up with it. It's very geeky.
I like it.
Is it like Sarah Michelle Gellar inspired somewhat?
But yeah, Geller and then Katniss and Claudia.
Oh yeah.
Claudia.
What's her name? I think
Claudia.
Farscape.
What else?
Yeah, what are you boys
Speaking
doing?
of Katniss, you guys see the trailer for the new Hunger Games movie?
Oh, I thought that franchise ran its course.
It's a prequel.
It's
right?
a prequel.
Who's
Well,
in it?
that's good. It'd be nice to know how Pan Am came to be.
Dinklage, right? Peter Dinklage.
It's like Snow is like 20,
Snow's young,
and he's getting started.
He was only a flurry back then.
Got him.
That could be good.
Dinklage is in it.
I think that's the right way to add to a brand, right? Like you don't retread and retell the same story.
Yeah.
Tell us more stories in that universe. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, or how things came to be. That's it's safe and people like that. It's good. I'll go see that. We'll see that.
Who is Peter Dinklage going to play?
I mean, like the guy who creates the Hunger Games.
Wow. So he's a bad guy.
Well,
maybe we'll see.
This is after the nuclear fallout. Isn't that like the whole story? Like there's some nuclear attack from one of the districts.
Really?
Like you're spoiling the movie now?
Yeah, right. What's going on here?
The hell?
A movie that's like a decade old.
Yeah,
at
you
this
can't
point.
spoil
No,
the
but this is
movie.
the prequel. This is a new
Did-
story.
Oh, is that canon?
But
I
isn't it
didn't
in
know
the
that.
books?
Who knows
Or
who
whatever.
knows details about the news story? There's nothing to spoil unless you're in.
I thought that was the whole premise of the different districts. Is that like
It wasn't a
The
nuclear
Capitol
attack. It was
bombed
a
one
it
of
was
the
an
things.
atomic attack. So let's
Okay,
get it
whatever.
straight.
okay, fine. They sent CERN there.
You know, they're redoing the whole Harry Potter series as a
Harry
TV
Potter.
show.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I've been asking for that. I
Squeezing
mean,
more out of it. Huh?
I always thought the best treatment for Potter would be a series, a multi-season series to cover everything that was left out of the movies, because they would
The books.
the movies. It's stuff that was left out of the movies. They would cut the entire B plot would typically be just removed out of the movies, like
Yeah.
Hermione and the
The elves.
yeah. I mean,
The elves.
it was actually good for making the movies because it was an entire subplot that you could just wholesale remove. But now we're going to see a lot of stuff in detail. Imagine 10 hours or 8 hours just for book one. I mean, it'll be interesting if they pull it off.
It's a tough thing to do because you know everybody still associates the other actors with those roles, so they're going to have to recast the whole thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
a hard thing. The quality has to be supreme.
It's going to be tough.
Are they going to use the music and everything? I mean, that music is part of the univerce.
I
Sure.
know.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
I don't envy the showrunners because that's going to be
Yeah.
how do you put your own stamp on it, your own brand? I mean, and not be compared to something that was pretty awesome in my book in terms of the music and the actors.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not using the music?
I don't know.
We don't know. We have no information.
Unless Ian doesn't want to spoil it. Go ahead, Ian.
Somebody said the
I
music
have
is in the
nothing to do with
teaser. Yeah, they got to use the music. That's crazy.
But they could use the music from the teaser and not have it be in the show.
Ooh, that's how they get you. It's like a bait and switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, I'll take Terry Pratchett's over Harry Potter. Any of that stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, I was totally into those books and totally into those movies. I loved all of it. It's just great.
It was amazing.
I love when somebody comes up with a brand new universe that's immersive and has that level of quality. It really is a very rare thing to take place.
Yeah, but too bad the whole IP's been so sullied the past 5 years or so with Rowling's.
If only Twitter didn't exist.
Jack Dorsey.
I could give
damn
a
it, Jack.
shit less what that author thinks. I don't care. This is where I don't want to know about famous people. I don't care. I don't care.
In a way, that's kind of true. You would probably, if you knew a lot more about a lot more of the people that you have, affection for their work or whatever, you'd probably like most of them less. As a result, so it's just people are complex. There's good, there's bad, there's
Yeah.
You just hope that people tend to be more good than having bad qualities, and just doesn't always turn out that way. It just doesn't. Separating that from the art, it's some cases you could make it. You could take various positions on that. I totally see. I totally see how a person would want to have nothing to do at all with a Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, but if you think
anymore.
about
And then
it,
there
like
are others that, absolutely, they see it.
Does everybody
the art it is?
Like all the content that we absorb and all everything. Do you have to have a complete agreement with somebody's politics and stance on every issue that you have in order for you to absorb and appreciate the art that they've created?
So yeah, but that's a bit of a straw man because at least you're stating it as one extreme end of the spectrum. You have to agree with everything they say to have any appreciation for their art. The other way to look at it is there any point beyond which someone has gone so far that you just don't want to support them? You don't want to support them financially. You don't want to support their empire. You don't want to support them, their fame or whatever. Like it's hard to listen to Michael Jackson. Now that we know he was a pedophile. I mean, there were certain things I can't really appreciate. Who's that actor?
R. Kelly. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sometimes like there's no way I could listen to and appreciate a stand-up routine by Bill Cosby. Right? It's done.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
There's
Yeah.
absolutely no way.
He's a good example.
He's trying a comeback, isn't he?
A comeback? Oh my God! Who wants to
last
hear
I heard,
anything from that guy?
Good,
Right?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
No, but I know, but
He's going to get back into the.
you're going to extremes, right? So if we're talking about like, yeah, this guy raped young women, of course, we're not, that's well beyond the pale. But we're talking about like, I don't agree with J.K. Rowling's stance on a lot of transgender issues and all that stuff. But I mean, am I going to not? Am I not going to interact with her brand because I don't agree with what she thinks about transgender people? I just don't. Why? Why would you do that?
We kind of divorced Orson Scott Card from his works. He was kind of a shit.
Well, I can certainly understand why some people would not want anything to do with the brand anymore. No doubt about it. And I would, that's perfectly within their prerogative.
Oh, absolutely. You could do whatever you want. I'm just saying, if you play that game though, then play it. There's a lot of bad famous people out there.
Oh, yeah.
And, right? Like you were saying, Ev, like there's just a lot of complete egotistical, asshole, horrible people who have been entertaining us for our lives.
Yeah.
Without
I mean, my approach basically is there's a line. There's definitely a line, but you can't be a purist because then you would never enjoy anyone,
Except only your art, your own art.
Yeah. Even then, I could be an asshole sometimes. I would cancel myself totally.
And not to go too far afoot with this, but Steven Spielberg, and if you see the interview with him that he did, I don't know when it happened, but it made headlines this week. And he basically, if I understand, I didn't watch the whole interview, I just read about it. And he said that, there shouldn't be this purge of the old movies in which there's some, a lot of what we consider now to be very offensive kind of things in those movies at the time, because it distorts sort of the cultural history of everything, and it shouldn't be erased in a sense is basically what he was saying, and almost practically a rewrite in some cases of history at that point.
It's a whitewashing of history in its own way. I get the idea, like I get why people would be not enthusiastic about watching Our Gang, the Little Rascals.
Yeah, and
because it's horribly racist. There's just no way around it. It's horribly racist. But at the same time, you could say, well, that's because society was horribly racist at that time compared to where we are today. And so can we now look at it as a historical thing, look at it in its time and place? But at the same time, should we be appreciating the comedy of horrible racism? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to separate them. There's no real right or wrong answer there, and we watched Little Rascals when we were kids all the time.
I loved it.
Yeah, and I still could get nostalgic for some of my favorite episodes.
Remarkable.
Yeah, but I totally get why it would be like, yeah, this is kind of like not appropriate anymore,
Yeah.
But I don't think we should whitewash all of literature and history and everything because it's all horribly racist by our current standards.
That's of course. Yeah, but like my point is like, and it becomes yet another burden for me to have to.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good way to look at it, Jay.
Wait. Let me just think. I hear you, but I'll say it. I'm not right all the time. I want my thoughts to be challenged, but like I know what Bill Cosby did. I can't see that guy's face anymore. What he did was so unbelievably horrible and unacceptable.
And
but
criminal beyond criminal. I mean, it's just,
if a celebrity has an opinion about something that I don't agree with, that to me, that's a lot of work that you got to do in order to be like, yeah, well, I'm going to, because if I'm doing it to this celebrity, don't I, shouldn't I be applying that to is it up to the news to inform me? It just becomes so heavy and complicated and overbearing. It's just like, I just don't care what celebrities think. I don't care. I care about what they do, but I don't care what they think and what basically what they say. Like I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. If that guy is a pedophile, like pedophilia to me is way over the line. Like that's another one of those like absolutely unforgivable. But if a Michael Jackson song comes on the radio, should I not listen to it? I don't know the answer to that question. I feel like I still like a lot of those songs. It's like, do I have to not engage with this, this dead guy's catalog because of something that he probably did when he was alive? I don't know. It's complicated, and sometimes I don't.
But then
know.
it's different. So for an actor, I have an easier time, except for the egregious ones, but I have an easier time separating myself from an actor because I don't think I agree at all with any actor ever anywhere in the world. I mean, there's a very unlikely that my political beliefs or ideology or religious beliefs or whatever would align with anyone. But when someone is but J.K. Rowling is not an actress. She's not an actor. She is an author who is now a kind of a political figure because of a position that she's taking. And so it's different. You can't put that in the same sphere as just like an actor that you just happen to disagree with about something political. She's, almost really an activist. But then again, what's the connection between that and her fiction writing? There really isn't one. It's not like she's using her fiction writing as a vehicle for promoting her beliefs, her political beliefs.
Right.
But I get it. It's very complicated because then people will say, yes, but I don't want to give money to her because she's using it to oppress a minority group that is being targeted and oppressed right now and can cause horrible damage. And I get that. And that gives me pause too before I do anything that would give her money as well.
Look, I hate Scientology, and I went and saw the last Top Gun movie, and I really enjoyed it. I don't
right,
hate,
but there's always
I don't hate Tom Cruise because he's a complete moron Scientologist, like that might very well know about the oppression of people in the Church of Scientology and just not give a shit about it. But it's a hypocritical position to take if if you're digesting other quote unquote famous people, famous for whatever they're famous for, if you're digesting work that they do, you can't just pick and choose the ones you can't just be like, well, I like Tom Cruise's movies and he doesn't really bother me, but he may very well be he might be a bad guy. We don't know. He's certainly involved with an incredibly bad church. And he's high in the church. He is high up in that church. You know what I mean? Just so
he's the Grand Wizard, the exalted Cyclops, or whatever they call him.
I just want to go see the movie. I don't want to worry about all this shit. It gets so cumbersome. Like we're just going to drown ourselves in goddamn social media and information. I would just rather not know.
Are you saying there's no ethical consumption under capitalism?
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Some people in the chat will know.
I know everybody doesn't agree with me, but I just feel fatigued by it all. It's like, oh my God, now I've got to sit here and think about what J.K. Rowling thinks, whatever the hell she is on the planet.
I mean, I would have to abandon my love of Lord of the Rings because of Harvey Weinstein, because of New Line Cinema, right? Am I gonna do that? Am I gonna make that connection? And there were actual crimes there.
Gene Roddenberry wasn't a good guy.
Mhm.
You'd be surprised. Well, maybe not surprised. You shouldn't be surprised.
You know, like that's
People
fucking
are,
Star Trek is one of the pillars in my goddamn life. You know, do I have to dump Star Trek because Gene Roddenberry was a douchebag to
Could
his
you
wife?
imagine if you had to erase that out of your entire culture, your entire gestalt, your world view of
Should we
everything? Oh my
ruin
gosh.
series for people? Everybody, you can't watch the IT Crowd too, because that guy's a
No, but I
transphobic
think
dick.
Which guy is?
The creator. He's a
The
pretty
creator?
like he posts on Twitter
Yeah.
too. Like,
Do I hate genetics because of Crick and Watson? I mean, where are we going?
particularly in the United States, people in the United States have become so unbelievably easy to offend. Right? It's so easy to offend people. It's like, you know, you just watch the shit that's going on online. It's like, oh my God, everybody is just so offended by everything. It's like you can't even comedians can't even do their thing anymore. You know, it's like, what kind of world do you want to live in?
It's a huge topic. I mean, this is a huge topic. Huge.
I
More
mean,
than we
look,
can
if
settle
all
in
of this,
15
if I
minutes, that's
felt
for
like
sure.
all of this was actually changing people's minds, like we're going to boycott J.K. Rowling until she starts reading more, educates herself, and realizes that she's on the wrong side of this particular topic out of all the topics out there. You're wrong on this one. If I felt like we ever moved the needle from boycotting, then maybe I would be like, yeah, okay, well, at least we're changing the world at that point, making it a better place.
yeah,
But it just seems like we're just splitting hairs like every day. It's like
Harry Potter's
somebody
more
else.
popular than
Yeah.
the Bible. It's like,
Oh, don't get me started on the Bible. Oh, my
yeah, well, that's true.
Genesis. I mean, forget it.
It's just hard to keep up with. I don't, it's like you literally got to wake up and go, who do I have to hate today?
Yeah, if you were going to take some kind of, like Steve said, Puritan moral stance on all these things, you wouldn't find anything. There would be nothing that would meet your criteria. Everything would get filtered out practically.
Yeah.
There is no purity in any of these things. None. So you make your decisions. You make your
I'm not
choices.
saying that we should. Somebody said, so let's not make any effort. I'm questioning if the effort actually does anything. Like I haven't seen any proof that anytime collectively we all are like, nope, not going to engage with that anymore.
Yeah,
Does it even do anything? I don't know. I mean, she's still making money hand over fist. Like she's got movies and TV shows. I mean, it's like it's not doing anything to her world for people to boycott her. It doesn't do any. It's not doing anything.
It's the old book burning kind of analogy that you can draw. That's where that love, a certain point of enough people disagreeing with something to the point where they will burn books, it is inherently problematic.
I just think it's an interesting thing to think about. I'm all for changing the world and doing the right thing. Believe me, especially since we've been doing skeptical activism, I reflect deeply on what kind of person I am and what I stand for and what I'm willing to stand up and fight for. I guess as I get older and I watch what the internet did to our world and what social media did to our world, it just profoundly fatigues me on an emotional level. I just get to the point where I'm like, you wake up one day and something that you love that's important to you that somebody created, and all of a sudden you're like, you gotta, a lot of people are saying you shouldn't engage with that anymore. And I'm just like, really? It's just hard. It sucks. It really sucks. I'm finding that the only safe place to live is in your goddamn memory at this point. Right? Because
STFU is that the everybody is that are those the initials to live by? Just don't.
I think you got to pick your battles. I mean, I know you get outrage fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue, man. I don't want to be.
But
Outrage
you
is
can't
such
give
an
up.
unhealthy state, though, Steve. Being outraged all the time is an unbelievably unhealthy mental state to be in.
Yeah,
we are
But we
not.
can't. By the same token, we can't just give up.
I'm not saying give up, but I mean, there's got to be some yin to the yang here. I just feel like it's like just when you engage with social media and you read the news and you keep up with everything, it becomes this massive burden. Like if I don't read the news for a week, I feel disconnected and I feel like I don't know what's going on in the world. But there's another part of me that is very happy about it.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like a catch-22 situation, because if you're well informed and you're keeping up with everything, then there is a burden that comes with that. And I'm one of those people, like, I don't think human psychology I don't think that our human psychology is designed to deal with what a human has to deal with in the modern world today. I think it's too much. The connectivity and the text messages and the emails and the tweets and the Instagram pictures, like, how could you possibly keep up with all that?
Little anti-tech rant there.
I'm not anti-tech. I'm anti.
No, I know you're not. Right?
I'm anti-glut. I think there is a glut. There's way too much information coming at us. There's way too much stuff. It's too fucking much. It gets to be like, I'm not enjoying it. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not enjoying trying to keep up with this running to stand still nonsense.
Well,
keep up.
You have to put filters in place, Jay. I suppose no one's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to watch your consumption.
You're right.
It's a consumable, like almost.
But that's what
anything else.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, so there's a giant list of famous people that lots of people are saying we got to boycott. And I look at that and I see myself deflate. Oh God, really? I just get like, I can't do it anymore. This is why we
can't have nice things, right?
I can't do it anymore. And I certainly don't want other people to think for me. I have to engage. I have to be like, like with the J.K. Rowling thing. I read every single thing that she said about the trans issue. I read it all of it. And I'll tell you, after I read that, I was like, I wish I didn't read that, because it just was painful. And now I have it in my head. And now I'm like, maybe she is an asshole. I don't know. I just want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah, how many people were Dilbert cartoon fans before they realized, what Scott Adams was, off his nut when he went all political and everything. So,
exactly.
Yeah, it happens and will continue to happen. Plenty of examples of it.
So anyway, I didn't want to drag this on for this long.
Well, luckily Twitter won't be here much longer. So
yeah, well, that's good. And Tucker seems like he's at least on his way out to some degree.
And Facebook may be crashing too.
Yeah, all of it, hopefully.
No, Facebook, Meta had a great
rules.
quarter. Their first quarter of this year, they did great.
Yeah, it's because they fired 18,000 people or 29,000 people. It's probably why. Right. Probably why, because they didn't have to meet the payroll, demands.
I think it's important to stay mentally healthy, and I think that spending time with people in meet space. This is part of the reason why we all decided to do Nauticon. It is healthy and important to be with people face to face and share space with people and get out of the digital world.
Get a little analog again. Analog is good. Mm-hmm. Analog is healthy. No doubt about it.
But I can still bring my phone, right?
Yeah, just, when we went to DC, we had in-person dinner with a friend of ours that lives, 5 hours away. That was awesome. It was incredible.
Yeah, right? It's a great dinner.
Yes.
No, I mean, it has been coming up a lot because of the whole artificial intelligence craze we're going through. And one, reading a recent article of, basically saying that, people are lamenting the fact that we're losing skills as we outsource more and more of what we do to technology.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this, like you don't know how to go anywhere. You're dependent on your GPS to tell you how to get from point A to point B, because you haven't had, I mean, obviously the places you're familiar with, but if you there's a place you go to occasionally. Previously, like after you were forced to navigate your way there and memorize the directions or whatever, you eventually learn how to drive there. And now you just GPS it and you're like on autopilot and you have no idea how to get there without GPS.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like we don't remember phone numbers anymore because they're all in our address book. Or who does math in their head now? You have a calculator, on your phone. So, which I think I agree. It's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just we're replacing old skills with new skills.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But having said that, I also think, it's really fun and it's a good experience to just do old school analog things from time to time.
Board games.
You know, get your hands dirty.
Board games.
Yeah, board game,
They're
yeah,
awesome.
whatever. Yeah,
They're great.
get together
So
with
much fun.
physically with people and play a board game. Absolutely.
That is
I mean,
absolutely.
I do it all the time, right? Ev, you do
Oh
it
my
every
gosh,
week.
it's-
And it's the number one. Oh my gosh, that is
It's so much
universal
fun.
in the board game community. It is about that tabletop, face-to-face, non-computer experience. Now you can have an app in your board game that you have to run or some sort of computer component. That's fine. A little bit of technology is fine, but just it's different. You cannot recreate these. The board game experience online. You can play board games online. It's just not the same.
It's not
different
not the
experience.
same.
It's just different.
Having some analog skills is not a bad idea.
I think that when I am in a room with my friends, there is 70% more laughing.
Yeah.
Than
Oh,
when
absolutely.
we
Oh,
we
gosh.
talk over this, right? It's not the same. There is something built into, like, we're mammals, like we're supposed to be together. There's something about it, right? It's just our nature.
Jay, you're so right. Hang on, I gotta open my game. I mean, I got these mines that are accumulating these. I gotta mine them. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Oh gosh.
But all kidding aside, like Nauticon is all about this. It's all this is what the SGU stands behind. What I'm saying, it's
right.
We want it.
But even just in your personal life, like Jay, like you took up baking bread, you get your hands freaking dirty. You know what I mean? You're doing something physical.
I love it.
Get out in the garden.
I love doing stuff like that.
I love gardening. I love being
gardening, cooking. I took a one-off glass blowing experience. Not too. I probably showed you my little vase back there. Where is it?
Yeah, my wife and I bought that for you and Josh, Steve.
Yeah, it was great. I think we're going to do a glass blowing party over the summer. We're all going to get together and do
all right,
it.
I'm in. I want to do that.
We're going to do it for mine and Julia's birthday.
Okay, cool.
How the hell are we gonna do that? Where are we gonna go?
To that same place. Yeah.
There's a place.
Yeah.
Basically,
in the backyard.
glass blowing is at least a 2-person project anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, you're the assistant with an actual glass blower who knows what they're doing. But they let you do as much as you can do with being unskilled as we are.
What if you accidentally breathe in? Will you just like scorch your lungs?
If you just breathe in, don't do that. Well, you don't do that. You don't do the blowing.
Yeah, but Bob, I have stood next to a
do the
glass
turning, right?
like a glass
do the
furnace
turning.
that has the liquid glass in there, and it gets really hot when they open the door, but it's not bad. It's not that bad when the door is shut. It's it's hot in there. Those studios get crazy hot in the summer, but just like anything. The point is though, like being there in person, it's visceral. Like you want to feel the heat.
Yeah, but Bob, you don't actually do a lot of blowing, right? You just actually give one breath of air into the glass. That's it.
No,
and
I've seen shows about it. Yeah, I know.
And then it expands on its own from the heat.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, we are with the little stuff that you're going to be making. We're not making huge, elaborate things where you might have to do like a lot of. You might have to do multiple breaths. If you're making a cup or those tiny vases or something, it's one breath. That's it. And the guy does it. You're not going to do it.
Yeah,
but
it's you're along for the ride. That's
you're
basically
along for the ride, but it's fun. You get to do a lot of stuff, and there is some you have to pay attention. You got to be when you're on. You've got to be full awareness. If you stop rolling your glass, it sags. Yeah, right. And if you turn the wrong way, like you have this molten glass, like you can't turn it the wrong way when you're turning around or moving it from one place to the other, because then you're going to be bumping into people with molten glass.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You don't want to do that.
You got to be totally paying attention.
So in the Star Trek universe, I wonder how anti-gravity fields would impact glass blowing.
Significantly. Significantly, of course.
Well, what do you think that bulb at the bottom of the Enterprise is? It's a glass.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Full circle.
But would you still need to do some spinning for the centripetal effect and all that stuff to make it, symmetrical?
These are questions you got to ask a physicist, Bob. You can't ask us. We don't know.
You talking about in 0G? In microgravity?
Yes.
Yeah. glass blowing and microgravity would be interesting. Yeah, you wouldn't have to do that
Hmm.
because it wouldn't sag.
I think that
How do you get the
everybody's
cone?
homework for this weekend should be to try to do something outside in the real world.
Non-digital analog.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do something with your hands.
You
Make
see-
something.
Draw
my
something,
bread
paint
recipe is up
something.
on the SGU website. Try to
Evan, are
make
you planting a garden this year?
Yes, in fact, this weekend I'm going to get the little tiny plants that will eventually.
See what
Awesome.
this is?
Oh, what do you got? You got seeds?
Yeah, seeds. These are cucumber
go-
seeds.
You're gonna go right from the seeds, huh?
Well, these are like really. These are
Sorghum brandy.
heirloom cucumbers that are really weird.
Yeah.
They're like
oh,
like cucumber melons and really long.
Oh,
crazy
cool!
ones.
I didn't know those existed.
Oh, there's so
Neat.
many different kinds.
like
So I'm gonna. So if
spaghetti
you want to get some
squash and
seeds
stuff,
from me,
yeah.
Evan, I'll have
Cool.
more than I can use.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And you could pot them before you put them in the garden.
Awesome.
I'm probably going to do both. I'll put some right in the garden, see what happens, but then I'll also pot some.
Yeah.
But I'll probably have more seeds than I know what to do with. So feel free to pick some
Jay,
up.
where's the bread recipe? I don't remember putting.
Didn't
it
we
up.
put that up on the website?
No, we put the meatballs and sauce. For the
All right, I'll
12
send you.
hours.
I'll send you my recipe right
Meatballs
now.
and sauce and
All
no
right. here's
bread. What?
If you guys had the time, money, blah blah blah, to take up one analog skill,
We talked about
what
this,
would
I
it be?
think, Yeah. Analog skill.
Well, for
I'll
me,
tell you
it's
what mine would be.
like making props. I mean,
Making props, be a maker. Yeah,
I'm doing that now. I'm making zombie legs for my.
Sword making for Steve.
I would make swords.
Steve would sword make. What would I do?
I'd be good at it
Probably
too.
some. Yeah. that's important too. Oh gosh, what the heck would I do in total?
Well, the glass blowing
full
was really
analog?
fun. I could see getting into that. Or would I don't? A friend of mine who was one of my friends from medical school just started making wood furniture and got really good at it. And with that, like you could buy $100 worth of wood, $200 worth of wood, and make a piece of furniture that's worth $2,000-$3,000. Like it's a
Mhm.
serious, increase in value with your skill. And you can get there if you have you need a shop though. Like it's not the kind of thing you do while you're watching television.
Right.
You need a shop, to do that. But still, that's pretty accessible. That level of making is pretty accessible.
Steve, do you remember when I was saying that I used to want to weld furniture? I wanted to make furniture out of steel.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That's a skill set and a shop that I don't have.
Steel.
Yeah, right. But there are probably shops where you could rent them. You know what I mean? Like if you could pay for access to the shop.
Yeah,
right?
but I need to be
no
taught
way at this point
welding.
in my life I'm going to build a forge in my backyard.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I mean?
course.
But
Yeah,
if I could go to someone else's forge and fuck around for a day, that would be fun. There are workshops you could do. You could pay if you wanted to if you had the time and the money, you just do a workshop, where you spend 6 weeks or something learning how to do something, whatever it is, woodworking, glass blowing, forging, steel, whatever, shop making, making props, whatever it is you want to learn.
yeah. A lot of people are saying dogs. Dogs are great. If you
Oh,
like dogs,
Got two of them.
right?
over there.
Owning a dog and doing things with dogs is like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so
Yep.
healthy. It's so awesome.
Yes.
So
We have a game.
my dog and Steve's dog are best friends.
Yeah,
And the second they see each other, it's on.
it's on. They're just romping. They're romping continuously.
Yeah, they just are fighting, fighting with each other until they pass out.
Bonsai, that's a good one.
That's got to be very relaxing.
That and that another one that's similar to that is what are those flowers that are hard to keep alive? You know what I'm talking about?
All of them are hard to keep alive.
Orchids?
Orchids. Raising
Oh,
orchids is another. That's dedication.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. I have a client who is retired, but that's what they do. That is their hobby.
Yeah.
And he's always showing me photographs of every season's orchids. Amazing. Great.
Yeah.
Somebody
No, he
said-
does. That's what he does.
Somebody said the dogs were humping on the backyard stream last year.
Yeah, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Whoops.
Birding is good too. Birding has definitely been one of my fun analog
Sure.
hobbies to engage in. Gets you outside. It's a lot of skepticism involved. It's good.
Don't you
Photography.
have a hobby making quizzes?
Yeah, do we have a quiz
Jeopardy thing?
today?
Do
Do we have a Jeopardy thing? Don't we have a Jeopardy
We
thing?
do. Jay had to go though at 6. I thought.
Yeah, I got to leave because I have people over my house.
Oh,
Why don't
we're
we-
calling it
We'll
early.
save it for next week then.
You
We'll
wanna
do it
save it?
next
All right.
week.
Okay. So, guys, if you haven't considered going to our Nauticon conference, please do. We'd really like to have as many people there as possible. It's going to be a ton of
Okay,
fun.
Full screen.
I
Point at the QR code. Right above you.
this right here.
There you go.
You can use that to find out more. But I basically stated the premise. Like this, it's about socializing and having fun, and everything that we do to entertain the people that come is going to be about socializing and having fun. So think of it as
All of
a emotional vacation from the stresses of your life.
But there'll be active, entertaining stuff going on.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
like I
Yeah.
said, we got more stuff than we know what to do. We
Yeah.
got-
Yeah, we're
we
not
have
just
enough
going to
time.
sit around and go, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" No,
Well, that was our first plan, but we decided not to go.
that was certainly the
No, but
the-
you could
the least
come,
prep needed.
hook up with your friends, and if you don't want to do whatever it is we're doing during that hour or whatever, then go do something else. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
reminds me, Evan. You'll remember this too. Talk about like going to an event with a lot of people who are there to have analog fun.
Yes,
Right.
LARPing,
So we were
of course.
at a live action role playing event. There's like 120 people at this campsite. It's an awesome game. We're having fun, and one of the directors of the game walks in on a group of people playing Magic the Gathering in their room.
just
You're paying money? It just blew my mind.
Wow.
Like, what this is too much for you?
yeah. is that what it was? Too much.
it just
Couldn't
doesn't make
deal
any
had
sense.
to retreat to your safe space in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy idea, but like you could not play Magic the Gathering and go out and play the other game, which you paid.
You're paying
to be there to
that's
play.
right now all around you. Whatever. If that's what you enjoy, good for you. I
Mhm.
would rather blow my brains out, but that's okay.
I'd rather suck glass, but hey.
But
Hey.
Steve, I've played Magic the Gathering. If you're playing with the right
Oh,
people,
it's fine.
It's a blast.
Why would you don't come to Nauticon and play
Right.
Magic the Gathering?
Go to
I
a
mean, you
Magic the
can.
Gathering conference. Go
You
there.
can, but why would you do that?
Yeah.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. It's right.
So I have good news. George Hobb will be joining us for the May 20th live stream.
Hey, Georgie.
cool.
George,
is
who just
formally
dropped
on
his new
board.
album, by the way. Pick
That's
Yes.
that
right,
up.
you did.
Don't forget to pick that up if you haven't done that.
Yeah.
I bought it.
I bought it.
I did too. Did I? Yes. I
Oh,
did.
Ian, you got to lower the QR code because there's apparently a button somewhere that is.
Oh, it's behind the live and the time notice.
yeah.
Oh, really? And
it?
I can't actually,
Oh.
I can't actually edit that because it's like.
Can you put it
built
on
into the
my
system.
picture instead of Jay's picture?
No, it's like built into the system. Hold on, let me.
So it's always in the
move
upper.
it. Yeah, it's always in the
corner?
upper.
It's always
left.
below the live and the
I
time.
wonder if I do
Yeah.
this. Is that any better? No. That's
No.
worse.
That's the
No.
same.
Seems to me it's not covered.
This is what Jay was complaining about. The
All
evils
right.
of technology.
Last
This
question,
is
guys.
feedback for.
What
Restream.
is your favorite thing to do?
What the hell kind of question is that?
Sleep?
Yeah, that's kind of a stupid, what a
I mean,
stupid
what kind of
question.
question? Stupid question. Is there if you have free
You got to
time,
give me some parameters.
If you all right, you have free time, you have an hour. What and you have nothing to do.
Oh, there
What
we go.
would you
Free
like
time
to
and
do
an hour.
with that hour?
Is there a willing participant that would do it with me?
Yes, you could pick anybody you want. What is it that you want to do?
Well, quality time with my spouse is always high on the list.
There you go.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Evan.
Hey yo.
Oh, get outside and walk around and tend to my property. I have an acre of property that
Yeah.
a lot of it needs pruning and just cutting back and stuff. And I like that. So I like going in the garden and pulling weeds. I kid
Yeah.
you not. I really
No,
find
I
that
agree
mentally
with you.
relaxing.
All right, Bob. Zombies.
Haunts. Yeah.
So eating and sleeping, I love so much.
Yeah.
they're staples of life, man.
Eating a great dinner on the couch while binging a great show with Liz. and just eating something that is couch safe.
Yeah.
I love that. Even if it's for 10 minutes, like eating and watching something awesome next to Liz is fantastic. But making a project, my zombie art or whatever the hell you want to call it, or a cool costume. I love that. It's so rewarding. So it's
All right, since we're not doing a quiz, I'm going to do a spontaneous quiz. Okay.
Oh Lord,
What do you call this part of the knife right here?
The
The
shank.
middle,
that's not a knife.
Here.
the part where Steve is pointing to.
That's a shankle.
That's a blood
Bridge.
So it's the non-beveled part of the blade.
Yes.
is it a
Anyone? Anyone?
stem?
A
That's the
schmevel.
ricasso.
The ricasso. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty close.
What do you
Ricotta.
call this part of the blade here? What is this?
The
What would
spine?
you? How would
Tang.
you characterize that?
Spine?
So
That's
the
not the
whole
ta-
thing is fine, but this part here.
Yeah.
The
That's
tang
not
is the
tang?
bottom part where your hand goes.
Oh.
That's a bevel.
No.
It
Well,
looks-
sort of, but it doesn't go to an edge
Right.
because it's a false edge.
False
That's a
edge.
false edge.
Yep, false edge.
How would you characterize the shape of that blade?
That's a double
Curved.
recurved
Wavy.
Schwitzelfangen.
It's a single recurve because you have the edge. The blade is recurved because it goes one way then the other way. Do you know what the name of this type of knife is?
Yes.
This is bonus points.
Not a Bowie knife. It's
No, it's not a Bowie knife. I can show you a Bowie knife, but this is not it.
No,
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
definitely not
kukri.
a
Somebody
Bowie
in the chat got it correct. This is a kukri. The
It's a
tang
kukri.
would be in here. So
Yep.
what kind of tang is in here?
grape, orange.
Orange.
Oh, this is the handle. Inside the handle is the tang, which is the
It's
clue
well,
as to what kind of
just
tang
from
it is.
looking at the butt of the knife, it doesn't look like it's a full tang. It looks like it's a post tang, it's just like a
Half
cylindrical tang.
Yeah, so a full tang would go all the way. You would see it on the sides, right? It goes all the way across.
Right.
So there would be scales on either side, and the tang would go the full width of the handle. So this is clearly not a full tang.
Half
It's-
tang.
Partial tang.
It's contained within the
Semi-tang.
handle.
That's exactly what I
Semi
said.
tang.
But what's it called? You didn't say the magic word. It's a hidden tang.
The hidden
But
tang.
it's also a through
Fruity
tang
tang.
because it goes all the way through to the back where it
Oh,
connects with
like
Somebody
the
said,
Wu-Tang-
Steve-
Wu-Tang. Yeah.
Steve, somebody said it's a pootie tang.
a tang. Very good. And
not
what
a
kind
tang.
of steel is that?
That is
Tempered.
Beskar.
Yeah, we should word Beskar. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I know. I have the name right at the tip of my tongue. It's Damascus steel.
It's Damascus. Yes.
Nice.
Very,
job.
very pretty. Huh? Anyway, that was my quiz for today.
Valerian.
That's great. That's what they used to teach in like home economics in 1860.
Yes, that's right.
That's
Well,
the kind of stuff you would learn.
And
back
so-
then.
I didn't get to answer my own question. I'd like to tell you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, you know what my answer is.
Spend time with people you love.
I spent time with my wife,
Yeah.
adult
There you go.
time with my wife, where we could actually talk to each other. That is the number one thing I like to do with my life.
Hmm. Yeah, I like
Well-
to talk after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, guys,
All right.
everybody, have a great weekend.
All right.
Great.
We'll leave it there.
Consider joining us at
Everyone.
Nauticon.
Not a con.
Go do
Nauticon.
something
Nauticon.
analog.
November 3 and 4.
Go analog yourself this weekend. Do something
No
nice for
way.
somebody.
I want to
Do-
see you at Nauticon.
Do something nice for
Buddy,
somebody
thank-
in your life.
Thank everybody for the t-shirt love. I love these t-shirts. I own like 3 or 4 of this style of t-shirt. They're so much fun, and sometimes they're so good that I'm hesitant to go out in public with some of them, but enjoy them because they're a lot of fun. Thanks for enjoying them.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ian. Thanks, everyone in the
Thank
chat.
All right.
you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Nauticon.
Bye-bye.
Evan, talk to you in about 45
Yes,
minutes.
we'll chat very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions. dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.
Oh,
It is me through the looking
hi there.
glass.
Whoa.
Cool, huh?
Ooh.
Who needs big fancy computers when you have a magnifying glass
That's true.
for all the special effects?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been a while since we did this.
That's true.
I've been busy.
You were away. I
yes,
did it in your steed or in your lead.
Johnny, I missed you as well. I missed everybody. Yes, Mirror Evan returns. I like that. Evan through the looking glass is what I call that artwork. I'm gonna copyright it and sell it for millions, like any other piece of art. So, and here's the QR code, by the way,
right there.
In case you didn't have a chance to get it before.
Go ahead and register.
It's going to be fun. It will be special, and especially, obviously we've been to so many conventions, skeptic conferences, and so many other things over the course of our years of doing this, dozens upon dozens. And they fall into certain patterns, certain rhythms, certain expectations. I think what's going to be different about this, though, is that we're going to strip a lot of that away, and try to make it as much of an experience that people have not had to the degree. In other words, filling up an entire 2 days worth of conference with these kinds of social and leisure activities. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yes, I'm selling it hard, but at the same time, I'm very much behind this product as I am an analog person, generally speaking. I am all for the analog meet space get-togethers, and especially ones that defy conventions. Pun absolutely intended there. So that was for you, Ian.
All right, thank you.
Yes, it is extreme. It is the after show. These things do happen. As far as I know, Steve still has no clue. Bob has no clue.
He almost saw it because he left the computer like a couple weeks ago when it was just me.
You
Jay
did
has
solo.
forgotten it too. Yeah, I was doing it. I've basically done it each time solo, but Jay has forgotten.
Ian.
But Jay always usually has to go, and then I kicked him. But when it came to Steve, but yep, nope, they don't know.
John Topping asks, "Am I physically and mentally tired after the tax marathon?" Yes, the answer is yes.
Good question.
And something I've learned to do in the years of doing this is not to come to a hard stop like right after tax day and just shut down and do nothing. First of all, there's still plenty of work to do. There's other tax related things that get done, first quarter filings and other things. So I kind of ease myself out of it, and I think that in a way sort of helps. If you can understand that, just to suddenly stop doing sort of everything and go on vacation. And some accountants I know actually do that. They will disappear for a couple of weeks afterwards, but I haven't found that to be kind of helpful in my case. So I'm now that I'm a couple of weeks removed from them, kind of getting back into a routine that is the rest of non-tax season. So, but yes, thank you for asking. And it all went as planned, which is hey, at least I get to know exactly when it's going to happen. You plan, it's a hard calendar, so it's not like it's weather or something that suddenly happens whenever it happens. No, so at least there's planning involved. I get myself mentally and physically prepared.
Taxman doesn't just roll up and knock on the door.
Well, yeah,
Not anymore.
not exactly. No,
not exactly.
plenty of letters though that clients and things are getting.
That's true.
There's always plenty. There's still plenty of work to do for the rest of the year. It's what keeps me very, very, very busy, and which is good. Which is good. Busy is good. But I can now have my weekends to go outside and do my outside yard work and the things I like to do that we were talking about, and get together again with my friends and play, play the board games and stuff, because really for about 2 months I have to shut myself down. Going back to what Jay was talking about also earlier, how he kind of gets crazy by the amount of information and news and stuff that people get bombarded with. I'm the opposite during that time. I because I don't have time to, even if I wanted to, I can't. So I do kind of go off the grid a little bit in that sense, and I'm not fully 100% up to speed on all the current events and the political events and all that stuff. I maintain enough in order to still appear on Skeptic's Guide once a week and maintain that. But beyond that, no, I really kind of lose track, and I don't feel like I miss it. In other words, I don't feel like something happened in whatever the world of entertainment or something, and I don't feel like I've lost something. I don't feel like I missed out or anything. What's going to happen next year, though, I'll tell you, that is going to be challenging is, it's the total solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. And I can unofficially say, we've not made an official announcement on this yet, but Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is planning some activities around that, and we intend to be able to all get together. Should I tell them where it's going to be in?
I mean, the solar eclipse is happening across the
It
bottom.
is. It spans
middle
from
of
Texas to New
Texas to
York.
New
Is
York.
the line of totality where it's
So
going to
it's
go.
somewhere in there.
Yeah. So it is somewhere there. We will be traveling, and we're going to be making an announcement, I think, pretty soon. We have to make an announcement soon because there's a lot of planning and things that will go hand in hand with it. Plus, people are going to be flocking to that zone, and a lot of hotels are going to get booked up and things. So we have to make sure people have enough time if they want to kind of join us for the things we have planned. The eclipse happens on a Monday. So what's going to happen is we're going to arrive at our destination probably that Friday and do maybe a Friday night event, a Saturday event, a Sunday event, all kinds of, and live SGU recording and extravaganza probably. And, whatever, special appearances, interviews, or whatever else we're kind of going to be doing, all of our show stuff, media stuff. And then Monday, people will ask, as many people who can get together with us to go and actually witness it. And it is just, there's no other way to describe it. I was so happy with the results of how I did it in 2017. I want to emulate that again. I know it wasn't, what I did was not an SGU event really of any kind. It was just me and my family, but we went out to Oregon and we met with some people who hosted us, SGU listeners who were very kind to take us in for the time that we were out there and share the experience with us. And it was just, it all worked out so perfectly. Knock wood, I want that to happen again, and I want it to happen on the SGU scale and with as many people as possible. Where was I in 17? Yeah, it was in Oregon. And thank goodness I did that. And what I did is I did the research going into it, figuring out, okay, look at the line, where the totality was going to be, where along that line historically on that date, which was August 21st, 2017, had the least amount of cloud cover. So I looked, I did a comparison of all the main areas, and Oregon happened to be one of the spots with the best. I think Idaho and maybe Wyoming had a little better chance, of there being no clouds, but Oregon was good too. And Kara was there too, not with me, but she was also in Oregon. She was working with, I think, Nat Geo at the time that she was covering that for them. And it just, it went as I planned. Everything happened. I got to experience it. Oh my gosh. And now I'm addicted, basically, to total solar eclipses. So we're going to do it. Keep an ear open in the coming probably couple weeks. I would say we'll probably start making some announcements on that as well, so all of you can know. And just if you've never seen one in totality, you must please. It is an otherworldly experience. That's really the only way I can describe it. And I've also told people that when I retire, one of the things I want to do is travel, and travel in conjunction with where solar eclipses may be occurring,
Cool.
kind of around the planet. So it'll be kind of a neat combination of things to, to go out and explore the world a little bit, and to also experience as many total solar eclipses as I possibly can, because they are just that
It
amazing.
increases your water bending power.
Oh my gosh, it increases everything.
Sure.
Powers that I think I have, powers that I know I have, and I'm not realizing I have. It really just brings that. It's so special, and do it with family, do it with a group of friends. Obviously, it's so much better. And we want to do it with SGU listeners, and make it a special thing. So keep your ear open for that, because details on that coming soon. All right. Let's see, any other quick questions to answer?
Nothing. The events are also on the website. Everybody, May 20th, we have the 6-hour live stream. Register for Nauticon, and also we'll be at Dragon Con, and there's a couple others that will happen throughout there. So we'll check the website.
Two quick things. Robert H says that Robert was in Salem when that happened. Yep, we weren't far from. I was not far from Salem. I was to the east of Salem, probably about 20 miles or so. So we were right in that same area. It was a perfect day. And Julian asked, so we're talking about the 2023 one in October? No, we're talking about the April 8th, 2024 total solar eclipse. The one that's going to take place in 2023 in October is an annular solar eclipse, and which is going to happen between a line that will stretch from California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. So you got to be down there to see that one in particular. And the difference is, with the annular one, it's not total. In other words, the moon is further away from the Earth, and it's not going to block out the sun in its entirety. There'll be the nice, neat orange ring around the moon, which is really great in its own. But the total solar eclipse, the moon will be in a position closer to the Earth. It will block out the sun, and you will see just the black disk with the white sort of light illuminating from behind it. So they are two different experiences, and I'm going for total because it's just so amazing. So all right, I guess that's it. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. We'll be back next week. You'll see me on a more regular basis on these things now that my crazy tax season's over. Thank goodness.
That's right.
Thanks, Ian.
Bye-bye,
Appreciate
everybody.
your help.
Of
Take
course.
care, everyone.
Bye.